Okay, in this video I'm going to be going over the process of working your way through Project 2 in cit250. So let me bring that up so I can actually have the projects. We can see the instructions as I go through. Let me turn that down. Alright. So, go to Blackboard, cit250. And we're going to go to Projects, Project 2. Alright. So we have pen testing a web server. So the first step is to download the actual server we're going to attack, which in this case is a Linux box running Ubuntu. It's going to run a web server. It's put out by OWASP, which is a nonprofit group that, that's fine, that makes or works on ways to secure applications and web apps. And anyway. Web apps. So this should be a fairly quick download. It's a smaller server. I can't remember how big the file is, but it's not massive. It's not a gig. I think it's like 250 meg. We'll say. It's instead of me pausing, I'll just let this thing download. It's downloading a pretty good clip. I guess not. I guess it's going to 300. Let's see if we got 400, 500. So. It's gonna. The moment I pause is the moment it's gonna stop the download. So Murphy's Law. So I'm tempted to pause right now, but we'll get the 550. If it's still going at 550, then I'll pause. But I'm pretty sure it's not much bigger than it's not a gig. I know that. All right, it's going. Be nice if it showed a progress bar. Okay. Well, this means I probably should pause. I didn't think it was this big, to be honest. There's no way it's a gig. So that's downloading pretty quickly, though. So I'm just gonna waste time, I guess. Which time is limited. So, all right. I'm going to edit this out, so this never happened. Oh, there it goes. Oh, that's hilarious. Alright, well, let's go. Here you go. I was just about to pause. Alright, so I have it right here. I'm going to have to import it into the machine. So I'm going to do machine, add, I suppose. This looks a little different than my other, my Linux box. We'll go to downloads. Well, there you go. So I got to import them. There you go, import appliance file. And this is a OVA, which is open virtual appliance format of the file. So we have downloads. Here's the OVA. I hit open. Hit next. Hit import. I want to change the network if I can. I can't do it here. Okay. Sure, that's fine. Doesn't really matter what you do there. I changed it just to play with it. It's whether or not it's going to keep the MAC address that was assigned to the network card, or to just generate a new one. All right, so I imported it in. I'm not seeing it. Oh, there it is. VM. Again, I've noticed this. I've had to rename it. So I mentioned that in the thing. So I'm going to rename it. I guess I click on settings. And then we're going to do hack it 2. This is the second version of the server. Hit OK. There we are. Then click on it and bring it up. Oh, before I do that, I should have changed the settings. We can do that right now. We're going to change the network we're on to our cyber range. Host only, that's great. I had it up because I couldn't remember it. Oh, number 2. Good. It's on number 2. All right. So put it on your cyber range. I didn't have to. It ended up there. There should be only one adapter. And let that come up. We'll put that over here. I'll also open up a notepad. There's some previous notes. Let's move this over here. That was for my VBox tools. All right. No. All right. While that's coming up, and it's coming up, you can see it's bringing up an SQL database, which is what we're going to be worrying about. I'm also going to bring up my Kali box. And that is now at a prompt. We don't have, well, I have the username and password because I helped bring up the server. I didn't build the server from scratch. But I did do some modifications, so I know the username and password. You do not. We'll get started. Also in the background, I want to bring up some other notes too. All right, we'll take care of that. All right, well that's thinking. I'm gonna go here, log in, root Tor. This is the vanilla. Looks like this is the last. This was part of our 161 project, so this might be on the wrong network. Looks like last time I used this was for 161. Yep. So we want to put that on number 2. Hit OK. That network card should go away, or I might have to force it. Let's see if got an IP on the right network. It should be 10.20.40.1. Now, we have a problem. We don't have the IP address of our the server. We don't know what IP address the server has. So, again, instead of floundering around helpless, we can just simply look around. What we're going to do is use Nmap, which we've used numerous times now at this point. We're going to give it the subnet we want to scan. So I'm going to get the whole subnet. I just want to do a simple network scan for now, just to hone in on it. No point in doing a port scan of every computer on there. There is also a command called systemdns. That just means we're going to use my device's DNS. So I'm going to hit enter and let Nmap run. And while that is running, I'm going to bring up some new notes here. I think just a hack. It's source materials. I thought okay. Documents. Personal projects. Okay, it's still going. That's still going. Well, I'll let that run, and then I'll have you guys report back once it's done. Okay, so on Google Maps, I have my notes here that as I was running through the project. It's just going to keep me honest to make sure I don't forget anything. So I've now nmapped, and I have found another IP address. It says .3 is up, if I'm reading this correctly. I have .1, and there's .3. So .3 now is a target. So now I'm going to do an nmap of .3, but this time I'm going to do a full scan. So -A for all. I'll do system DNS again. That way it'll fail on the DNS resolution, but it won't. So I'm going to let that run. It's now. So what it's going to do is now a full port scan. It'll tell me all the ports available. So the first thing I want to put in my notes, which again could be on my virtual machine, or I can put it out here, is my IP is 10.20.40.1 or .1, and I can say that's a Kali IP. I'm going to go say the target IP is 10.20.40.3 for whatever reason, and we're getting our port map up. So I can just do ports and tab that out. And this does take a little while to run, so I'll let that run, and we'll finish up. I'll come back when it's done. Okay, we're back. Just in time for Thelonious' solo here. Mysterioso. Anyway, alright, so here you go. Here's all the ports that are available. Again, I can put that into my notes. Actually, they gave me a nice little chart there. Isn't that nice of them? Right down to, yeah, we'll get it all. Don't really do the trace route. Okay, Control-Shift-Copy, and I'll get rid of this ports. Make it look pretty. There we go. So there's my notes. Here's my initial scan of the server of all the open ports. What we're most interested in is this one right here, which is running HTTP Apache. So hey, let's go check out. Our target wants to give us a web page. Let's go check out that web page. Spinning up Firefox on my virtual machine. Do Control-A. I'm going to put 10. Well, we'll do the whole thing. HTTP:// we'll pretend we're professionals. 40.1. We'll even do the port 80. We want to check out port 80. What do we got? It's thinking. It's thinking. It's thinking. It's thinking. Why does it take so long? I don't know. Is HTTPS open too? No. Oh, because I went to .1. See, I'm not that smart. .3 is the one I want. There we go. Much quicker. There we go. So here's the website. Well, there's really not much here to hack. Inspect element. Here we go. There's not much to this. That's the classic JAWS webpage. Not very pretty. So what do we? Oops, I don't want to do that. Close it. All right. So we need to go somewhere. By the way, one place you often sometimes can go is a folder called robots. Let's see, robot. Yeah. Robots is a file of locations on a web server that they don't want scanned. Yeah, I should turn off. All right. No, thank you. Anyway, there's nothing there. So how are we going to figure out where this web server, or what this web server does? Well, we could use a more sophisticated program like Burp Suite, which is a really impressive program that essentially scans a web page and gives you the full, can give you the full view and spread of what a web page is. Or I can run a little easier program. In this case, I'm going to do that, called Dirbuster. I should have put an ampersand on there. Oh well. It's also made by the fine folks at OWASP. It's kind of a no-frills system, but here you go. So again, we're going to do HTTP 10.20.40.3, and it's going to be port 80. Just to specify, that's what they prefer. Let's make it fast. Go faster. Red ones go faster. All right. So brute force, right? Now we're not going to do brute force because it would. We're not going to do pure brute force. What we're going to do is kind of a dictionary attack. And what this is going to do, don't forget how web servers work, right? Web servers are essentially presenting free stuff to files, right? Or they present files that we have access to. So what we can do is we can just ask for more and more files. Hey, or directories, right? And that's really what we're going to do here is get directories. So they want to know what list to use, right? Now we have lists. Actually, if I click list info, it will give me all the lists that they have in here. As you can see, directory list, medium, small, I'm sure there's a large one, lowercase, uppercase, right, case insensitive, right? So we can take a look at those lists. They're under users, or yes, user, share, and they're under Dirbuster. There it is. And word lists. So they're all right here. I can look at them. Let me open up a new command prompt and go there. User, share, CD into Dirbuster, and CD into word list. Yep. Alright, if I do an ls, there they are. If I cat one of them and just check it out, let's do directory 2.3-small. Didn't like that. Directory list is what I missed. see if I can tab this out. There we go. So if I do that, as you can see, we have a bunch of common Ukrainian, Croatian. We have a list of common directories that one might find in a web server, right? So we could load that up and it would start scanning for it. Let's do that just so you can see what it looks like. All right, I'm going to hit start, and there you go, right? It's going to start building a directory tree. Let's look at a tree structure. It's going to start building a directory tree of my web server, okay? It's running in the background, by the way. All right. Current number of threads, 200. Fine. So far, it's only found index. There you go. It's found doc. I'm sure that has a bunch of documents in there, right? But that's all it's doing in the background. Right? And you see right here, it's kind of asking, right? Testing for directories and index, CGI bin, doc, right? Testing for files with the extension PHP, right? That's what it's doing. It just keeps asking, hey, can I see that? Can I see that? Can I see that? And when the web server says yes, it puts it into our tree view, which has found more things since. Now, the problem we're going to run into is the folder that we need to particularly play with today in for this project. Well, it's not going to be in that list. All right. So why don't we stop this? It's going to give me essentially a bogus result. And instead, go back and do a new scan. Yes. All right. So what we're going to need to do is, did I close that other one out? I guess I did. We're going to need to go in there and make our own list. So we're going to have to use Crunch. Now, I'm going to pause this video. I'm going to stop this video here. I'm going to make this part 1. I'm going to try to keep the videos under 20 minutes. So this is a 17 before we're moving on to Crunch. So the next step for us is to use Crunch and make a list of possible directories we're interested in. If you just want to cheat and be quick, you can make your own list and just make sure Matilde in it, or modify one of these lists and put Matilde in it. But we're going to go over how to use Crunch one more time in these videos, and that'll be the next one. So I'm going to pause this one and upload it up to YouTube and move on to the next video. See you then.